Hello, my name's Holly Gosnell. I'm a virtual production technical artist. Welcome to this tutorial for using Glassbox Technology's BeeHive with Perforce. BeeHive's strength and contribution to version control is adding automatic, live, edit-by-edit change control. The created BeeHive transaction history can later be stored via Perforce along with the final state of the scene. We'll be looking at how to integrate BeeHive into an existing Perforce framework for a more efficient and collaborative virtual production workflow. To start, I have an Unreal project which I am using with Perforce. I have set up my Perforce server locally for this demonstration. For this example, I'm going to be managing source control directly in Perforce's visual client, P4V. The source control connection from Unreal can also be used for usual asset by asset source control tasks if that is your preference. I prefer to work directly with Perforce, as connecting from Unreal can lock up your editor window when submitting a change list. Also, when adding BeeHive and Dragonfly data to change lists, P4V should be used as the folders are not visible in the Unreal Editor window. First, I'm going to set up BeeHive as if I'm on a virtual production shoot. I'm going to use this instance of Unreal on the left as my BeeHive server. So going into the BeeHive settings, I'm going to call this instance server. And going into the unsynced section, I'm going to right click and sync the scene to the BeeHive database. Now, moving into the server tab, I'm going to start this server. With that complete, I'm going to use this other instance here on the right as my BeeHive client. So I'm going to give it the name client and then connect it to the server. Now what BeeHive is doing is it's copying the project files from the database to this client. Once the copying is complete, we can go into the project files and open up the level. As you can see, we can see the client appear on the server instance. And moving around in the client, we can see the server as well. Now for the shoot. I'm going to be working in my level, so I first need to check it out on Perforce. Within Unreal, I'm going to make some changes to my level. And looking in the BeeHive History tab, we can see we're building up a transaction history. BeeHive tracks changes at a much more detailed level than is usual with Perforce. When you submit this data to Perforce, the scene will be updated to its final state, but the change history and ability to go back to any of these states will be stored on Perforce in the BeeHive folders. Remember here that Dragonfly is interoperable with BeeHive, so shooting virtual cameras is included in this BeeHive history. It's worth noting that in this demonstration, the client instance does not have the Perforce workspace mapped, so source control is not active. If an instance of Unreal is going to be creating or updating assets in the project outside of the level that BeeHive is tracking, it's advisable to connect that instance to source control also, so that the operator can push this data to your Perforce server. Another note to keep in mind is that you don't necessarily have to use the BeeHive server machine as the machine connecting to source control. A BeeHive client could be designated for this. Now, I want to commit what has been done so far with BeeHive during my virtual production shoot to my Perforce server. So I'm going to save and check the level back in as per usual Perforce workflow. But I'm also going to mark for add the new BeeHive folders, the BeeHive log and the BeeHive project, as these folders contain all of the BeeHive data from our shoot. Please note, if you have used Dragonfly during your shoot, there are a couple of additional folders that you will want to add to your change list. Here's an example of a project where I shot a couple of Dragonfly virtual camera takes and a Dragonfly snapshot. The Dragonfly takes are contained as separate files here in the recordings folder. The snapshot is contained in the snapshots folder. So I would add both of these folders to my Perforce change list if I had used Dragonfly in my current project. I am now going to right-click on my change list and submit it to the server. With these now checked in and on the server, this project can be pulled down elsewhere, and what was done in the virtual production shoot, including the BeeHive transaction history, is retained. A usual Perforce workflow involves syncing at the beginning of your day and then pushing updates to the server multiple times a day. With BeeHive in your workflow, all the version and change tracking during the day can happen with BeeHive, meaning submitting to Perforce is minimized and could be reduced to an end-of-the-day task.